Next story.
Hey, this story is interesting. 5 reasons why Marvel and DC movies no longer dominate. We will not see a $1 billion superhero movie. I think pretty clearly. Thunderbolts, Captain America, Brave New World, Superman, Fantastic Four. None of those movies will make $1 billion. Used to be, you could put out anything. Like Captain Marvel made $1 billion. And then the second movie came out and made almost 200 million. That says something. Well, an article here, let me bring this up on screen. I know you have the notes, Alan.
Do I?
These are 5 reasons why. This is from the Direct. Okay. 5 reasons why Marvel and DC movies no longer dominate the box office in 2025. We just look, no superhero film will be $1 billion. Probably not even 900 million at this point. But Alan, give the notes for the story.
Yeah, I'll just go to the points here. Number 1 is superhero fatigue and oversaturation. With 37 MCU films and multiple reboots of DC, viewers are just no longer excited just because a character wears a cape. Audiences are experiencing unprecedented genre fatigue. Even big names and familiar faces like Dwayne Johnson in Black Adam or the major MCU players in the Marvels, which they don't even bother to list out, couldn't save recent films from underwhelming results. The sheer volume has created a saturation point where spectacle alone isn't enough. 69. That's 1. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. So that was point 1.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Point 2. The international audiences want more than just spectacle. The global market, once a safety net, is now unprofitable. Films like The Marvels and The Flash flopped internationally despite heavy promotion. International markets are no longer content with spectacle alone. They demand culturally relevant storytelling. Movies built on American comic book mythology don't resonate as well as overseas unless they offer universal themes or strong emotional arcs.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, superhero movies used to be about something. Star Trek movies used to be about something. They're about something else beneath the surface, something in the zeitgeist. And somehow the zeitgeist is not feeling the superhero movies. Third point.
I just want to say to that, if you think about Avengers Endgame, the theme was, ultimately it was Tony Stark's sacrifice for the sake of the world.
Right.
Those are themes that the world, the international audiences, everyone can get behind versus themes of finding out who you are.
Right.
All right, here we go. 3, streaming has raised the bar for theatrical releases. While quality superhero content available at home like WandaVision, Peacemaker, and the Batman spinoffs, theaters must now offer something truly cinematic. Their theatrical experience must offer something truly special to justify the trip to the theaters. Films like Thunderbolts and Eternals may have worked better as streaming despite their focus on characters. They lack the scale and spectacle that justify a theater ticket.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when, there's so much on streaming, I feel like I'm not caught up. It's hard because you and I see so many movies. It's hard for you and I to literally keep up with all the different series. Although Penguin, one of the best series. It's one of the best. It was great. That turned out to be a surprise. The Disney Plus series have been a disappointment.
Yeah.
WandaVision maybe being at least the first few episodes being among the best, but everything else from Disney Plus has been forgettable. I have not watched Peacemaker and not sure that I want to after going to the panel. I went to the Peacemaker panel. I was not impressed.
Yeah. It's on the members channel, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm posting a lot for members and
but how many times this year have you described a movie by saying this should have been on streaming?
Yes, I know, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Theaters, if to watch a movie in the theaters, there has to be a theatrical experience behind it, and I believe that's where the youth are at. Where the only reason they would go to a movie theater is to see something like Superman or Fantastic Four, something that's elevated versus the Marvels and other films you see at the theaters. You're shelling out a lot of cash. Same
That's
reason
right.
you go to the reason you go to theater versus again watching stuff at home. All right, number 4, quality storytelling now matters more than brand recognition. The most significant factor in superhero box office success has become the quality of storytelling rather than brand recognitions. Films that focus on emotional payoff and narrative closure, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, are rewarded. Studios can no longer rely on familiar faces and fan service alone.
All right. Yeah, it's like, look,
Mhm.
Deadpool and Wolverine, while it was fun to see all the cameos and stuff, is that it? Is there nothing more? And I expect Doomsday to be, we already know that it's a cameo fest based on the cast. The insane, is it with like 40, 50 members of the cast? I have it here somewhere. It's insane. It's insane. I'll go to it. Let's go right here. This is the cast of Avengers Doomsday that we know about. The names are too small to see. And there's people I really don't care about. There's Namor. Look at this list. These are the ones we know about publicly. And there'll be a lot more. Anyways, Alan, if you would continue the last point.
Last one, number 5. Reboots and fresh takes are outperforming franchise continuations. Films that reinvent characters like Batman and Superman are thriving because they offer a new angle without franchise baggage. Audiences are gravitating toward fresh interpretations of established characters rather than continuations of existing storylines. By contrast, films tied to ongoing continuities like Quantumania or Black Adam feel weighed down by the universe obligations and set up of future projects.
I think these are good points. I mean, I think you could maybe do 10 reasons, but I think a lot of it is like minor characters that people don't care about, using characters from the comics that failed in the comics and giving them their own movies
or TV
series is not a winning strategy. What do you think?
No, absolutely. I remember when they announced Shang-Chi. As much as I like that movie, they're saying Shang-Chi is coming to the MCU. And I remember, I read a Shang-Chi comic book back in the 70s.
Yeah, same.
I wasn't that impressed with it, which is why I never bought another Shang-Chi comic book. And yet they're making a movie about him. And I'm like, this is going to suck.
It was a ripoff of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
It's right. I love Bruce Lee. Just bring Bruce Lee into the MCU.
Yeah. Again, the point I'm making there is there was no reason. It wasn't a popular comic book. At least when I was collecting comic books.
I know we may be your number one source for Pedro Pascal news. We just are. Pedro Pascal clarifies Reed does not lead the Avengers in Doomsday. An article from Entertainment Weekly about this. Alan, I know you have notes.
Yes.
Give me the story.
All right. Well, Pedro Pascal is setting the record straight after speculation ran wild that his Reed Richards would lead the Avengers in Avengers Doomsday. The confusion began when Fantastic Four First Steps director Matt Shakman spoke with Variety about casting Pascal as the iconic Mr. Fantastic. Shakman explained he goes from being the nerdy scientist to the guy who's leading the Avengers. Wow, that's not clear, which many fans took as confirmation that Pascal's Reed would be the Avengers' new leader. But Pascal, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, clarified that Shakman was referencing the comics, not the upcoming film. Matt was talking about Reed Richards that within the comics of the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, are brought into the Avengers, and Reed is commissioned to lead a mission, Pascal said. but that is different than what we're doing. So I think what Matt had said about Reed and the comics have been taken out of context. So while Pascal's Reed Richards may be stretching across the multiverse, don't expect him to stretch into an Avengers leadership role just yet.
Well, look, I think that Reed will play a part, obviously, because Doctor Doom, Doctor Doom is the main nemesis of the Fantastic Four. So, and one of the greatest villains in the Marvel universe. So Reed will play a big part. I don't, look, I've seen the Fantastic Four once. I do want to see it again before it leaves theaters. I don't think that Pedro ruined the film. I don't think he made it better. That's what I'll say. But I do think Pedro fatigue is real. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, let's also be real that we all know that the Avengers Doomsday script isn't even finished yet.
Right. Well, no, that's not true. There's a script, but they have the screenwriter on the set to plus. What did they use the term? It was like to
Plussing.
Plussing. They plus the script.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there's still time. That's all I'm saying. There's still time for him to become the leader of the Avengers.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, Judd Apatow, who makes 9-hour comedies, lets people riff and they do one-line reading. They have the script. Then they have people who will just riff and do many different takes. I think it means his comedies end up being too long, but it's not unprecedented. They do a thing where they bring in voice actors that will do the same thing, comedians that will just add jokes of like, they'll have a crowd in some cartoon and you'll hear something random someone say that's just a comedian saying, here be this would be funny right here. And so it's kind of a version of that. So look, if it ends up being a good movie because of that, great. Not always the case. So,
yeah. A lot of times I think these interviews are like reading the Bible where someone will say a line and then you have to dissect it word by word and find the meaning, the true meaning from within it. I believe we've gotten to that point with fan interviews, with actor interviews.
Well, yeah, it's almost like, it's like, oh, let's read the tea leaves of what this person meant by this.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes it's a bit much.
Yeah. Because I want to know what Pedro said in the original Hebrew. So there you go.
Well, you mean Jor-El?
Jor-El.
Sure.